Hello everybody, my name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, as the Golden State Warriors recently, I guess you could say, got beat in the NBA playing tournament by the Phoenix Suns, there's been a lot of questions asked about the future of the entire organization, but the one person that's really coming to light as their future remains undetermined is Golden State Warriors head coach Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr, ladies and gentlemen, has done an incredible job with the Golden State Warriors. Back when he acquired for that position, I think it was in 2014, 2015, something along those lines. Maybe it was 2013, around that time frame. And since then has built a dynasty. And those are rare to come by. It's rare to actually have and build a dynasty. There's a reason why the Bulls dynasty, no one really talks about any other team beyond the Bulls, or the Lakers dynasty, or now in this generation, the Warriors dynasty, and potentially our future generation will be the OKC dynasty. There are loads of dynasties in the league that solidify their spots as some of the best teams that the NBA has ever seen, but it's so rare to get to that mark. And Steve Kerr was a big factor in bringing that to life. The Golden State Warriors couldn't get over the hump in that last series that they had before Steve Kerr with the Los Angeles Clippers, if I'm not mistaken. And all of a sudden, Steve Kerr comes in. There's a little bit of a shift in the style of play, and they become a dynasty. They become a team that people remember for the NBA pretty much until the end of time. Like, that's what it's going to be like. People are going to talk about these moments and honor these moments and respect these moments for many, many years to come. It's going to be such an incredible thing. And Steve Kerr should deserve and does deserve his flowers in that regard. But the question I have for you guys is, should he be leaving the Golden State Warriors? Let's talk about it in this video. Before we get any further, if you do like the video, feel free to like and subscribe if you are new, and let me know what you guys think about Steve Kerr potentially walking away from the Golden State Warriors. Ultimately, he has done enough to earn the right to make the choice himself. I really hope the front office is not pushing in a certain direction, and I most certainly hope the players involved are not pushing towards a certain direction. Steve Kerr is a Hall of Famer. He's an incredible player, a former Bulls player, won a championship with that Bulls team. He's created a dynasty as a coach with the Golden State Warriors. He's earned enough respect around the league as a coach and as a player to make that decision on his own. So I hope no one's swaying him towards anything. I hope it's his decision and his decision alone. There has been reports, I think Steve Kerr said, in order to kind of get to the next step, there might be some new blood that needs to be put into the team. And obviously he's referring to new coaching blood, maybe even new players as well. We've had people like Draymond Green saying his best guess at the moment is that Steve Kerr will not return to the Golden State Warriors and there will be a new head coach. There's a lot of things going into this conversation. I guess the first thing I need to say is I don't necessarily think Steve Kerr's coaching is the biggest issue. Yes, there has been some very big kerfuffles in recent history with Jonathan Kuminga, firstly, not really playing him that much. I'm sure it's also a front office issue as well, but you know, he had the right to play him and he didn't really play him that often. And when he did play, Kuminga was quite well. Guys off the bench that a lot of Warriors fans don't really see the potential in, he's playing constantly. So it isn't perfect out here. And maybe there is a need for new blood in the team. But at the same time, I sort of like the story where all three, Draymond Green, Stephen Curry, Steve Kerr, kind of walk into the sunset together. I was kind of hoping that was the way it would end. And I guess the fantasy booker, the wrestling booker, I guess you could say, in me, where you could kind of create your own stories and tell your own stories, would like to tell Steve Kerr, just keep on going for a little bit longer. Wait until those players are ready to walk out with you. You could walk out as a dynasty just as much as you entered the league building a dynasty. That's what I would like to tell Steve Kerr. That's what I'd like to tell the players. I'd like to tell them that because it's a beautiful story. Of course, Klay Thompson getting traded ruins that story because he was a big part of the dynasty as well. It's almost like he's neglected amongst most NBA fans. I wouldn't say Warriors fans, but most fans outside of the Golden State Warriors neglect Klay Thompson and sort of that dynasty because he's not there anymore. But the players that are still there, let them ride off into the sunset together with Steve Kerr. Let them leave together. That's what I would say in this regard. But again, it's a business and it affects money. You know, the Golden State Warriors want to be as good as possible so they can get they can make more money. It's as simple as that. You get into the playoffs, you make more money. You get closer to a championship, you make more money. It is as simple as that in that regard. And competitiveness does result in money. And maybe it is going to be a financial decision that allows the Warriors to do or let go of Steve Kerr. But ultimately, if this is the end for Steve Kerr, all I have to say is what an incredible ride. What a fantastic journey. He was one of my favorite coaches in recent history. I don't think that's a real stretch to say. I think he's most people's favorite coach in recent history. Obviously, having a team with Stephen Curry makes it a little bit easier, and Draymond Green as well makes it a little bit easier. But at the end of the day, you still got to coach that team. You got to attract enough respect to coach that team. It's not easy to coach a guy. Well, it might be easy. Stephen Curry might make it easy, but a player of that magnitude, to gain their respect and their admiration and to be fully bought into the system that you provide for them, for a player like Steph Curry, it's not easy to do that. It's not easy for Draymond Green. It's not easy for these guys to buy into a system the way that Steve Kerr made them buy into that system. So there's a lot of respect that goes to Steve Kerr. I'm sure the job was a lot harder than people make it out to be, but it's an incredible ride. Hall of Fame worthy career, as we all know. And all the best. All the best in your next adventure. I think I've heard recent reports, not recent reports actually, but reports saying that he's probably not going to coach again. He's probably just going to call it quits and that's it for him. He's not going to go to a different team. He's not going to go into the front office. He's kind of going to make this his end. And maybe he used to be a commentator way back when. Maybe he could go back to doing that. Have some sort of say in the NBA. I feel like him just walking off into the sunset, he'll be so missed, man. Like, I kind of hope that he goes back into that sort of field, being a journalist or a commentator, commentating games, maybe doing some ESPN shows, something like that. His mind is something that I would really value in that sort of space. And there's a lot of past players, a lot of past coaches that have taken that role, and some of them have been quite good. Some of them are very interesting to listen to, while others, I kind of just close my ears when they speak. It's almost like screeching chalkboard. I just don't want to hear it. But ultimately, with Steve Kerr, I kind of feel like he should be one of those people that has a voice in this league. So if he is leaving the coaching scene and he is going into a different path, I hope that path leads him back to the commentary tables and commentating on games. Maybe being a Warriors home game commentator or something like that. Or if it is just publicly ESPN, and all that. It'd be so nice to see him around that space. But we shall see. I hope he just remains an NBA head coach. I don't think it's his time yet. I don't think the roster he has been incredibly good enough to win championships, even if they were fully healthy. I think if you had Jimmy Butler here and you had even if Kuminga was playing per se, before he got traded, I don't think they had enough to win a championship. I just don't think that. I think that championship window is long gone, but it doesn't necessarily mean you need to just instantly consider letting him go. And I guess it's Steve Kerr's choice. So I'll say the same thing about him. Just because your team is not championship quality does not mean it's your time to go. So there's still room for improvement. Let's see if they can do that. But we'll see what happens with Steve Kerr. My answer is I just hope he stays as head coach of the Warriors. It's not his time yet. I'd like for them to walk out together. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care, and peace.